Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Welcome to the February 11th, 2016 meeting of the Prescott Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to welcome all the members of the commission that are here. I'm not going to introduce them this morning. We don't have that big an audience. Welcome, Mr. Lamerson, Councilman Lamerson. Okay, approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion?
I so move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Corrections? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, CC 15002, Comprehensive Sign Plan for Tim's GMC Auto Group.
Good morning, Mr.
Frank?
Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Today, Tim's Auto Group is looking for a comprehensive sign plan for Tim's GMC in Buick. I know they have several Tim's dealerships there, but this one we're talking about is the one on Willow Creek Road and Commerce Road, Tim's GMC and Tim's Buick. What they're asking for, sir, is a change of one sign, one monument sign they have along Willow Creek Road for a new sign, a higher sign that would normally not be permitted under standard zoning rules. That's why they had to apply for a comprehensive sign plan. Tim's GMC provided a list of an inventory list of all their signs on the site. They have multiple wall signs and currently three freestanding signs. One of them's a little monument sign which sits on the corner of Commerce and Willow Creek Road. That's this one here. The second one they have a little bit up from that on Willow Creek Road, a little bit north of that on Willow Creek Road, is this sign which they want to keep. So these first two signs they want to keep on the site as is. This one's right on the corner at the traffic light on Commerce and Willow Creek. These are their existing wall signs that they had in that inventory list they provided with their comprehensive sign package. Those they want to keep, which are all well within code limits for wall signage for the building. This is the third monument sign or freestanding sign that they have along Willow Creek Road that they want to replace with the new one. So they're planning to remove this sign and replace it with this sign. This sign is about 100 square feet and 26 feet in height. Normally by standard zoning code, in order to get a 100 square foot sign, it would have to be set back from the property lines by 50 feet. You get 2 square feet of signage for every 1 linear foot of setback. So to get 100 square feet, you need to have it 50 feet back. However, they're hoping to replace this sign or put this sign in the location of this one. So they'll still have the same 3 signs that they've had for years. One of the things with the comprehensive sign package, we take a look at how other dealerships or similar business uses, in this case dealerships, have had their comprehensive sign plans approved. As you can see, the highlighted in yellow is the Tim's project we're talking about today. They're well within the limits of other comprehensive sign plans approved by 4 other dealerships and RV dealerships, car dealerships, and the like. Some within the vicinity of this one, like Tim's Subaru, Tim's Honda, Tim's Toyota, Lamb Chevrolet out on Route 69, and the like. So really, and the reason that they needed to come in for this comprehensive sign plan is for the square footage of the sign being closer to the road, and for the height of the sign. The sign they would like to have is 26 feet high. It's my understanding from the applicants, and they're here today, that the GMC corporate gave dealerships all over the place 3 sign options or 4 sign options, and this is the least tall of all those options. and they're not, so they're hoping for this 26-foot high sign. Normally, signs are limited to 20 feet in height by our standard zoning code. So with that, that's the request, to replace one sign with this one, have it be 26 feet in height, 100 square feet, and not have to meet the 50-foot setback for that dimension of a sign.
What is the setback?
The setback for this sign, since it's 100 square feet, would have to be 50 feet.
What is the existing sign setback?
Right on the road. It's right up on the edge. It's real close, within feet of the property line.
But it's quite a ways from the curb, though.
Yes, sir, it is.
Like, quite a bit, right?
Yes, it is. Let me put that one back up. This is the one they're replacing. You can see you have the street, the sidewalk, the landscaped area, the drainage area, the fence, and then the parking lot.
Let's see the new one again.
Mr. Marshall.
Where's the property line at?
The property line, see if I have an exhibit that shows that. Property line in this case is just on the other side of that metal fence, or maybe right along that metal fence. The rest of it is Willow Creek right-of-way.
Can you show me with your pointer?
Sure. I'll use my finger here. This fence line here
Okay.
is approximately the property line. The rest of this area here is Willow Creek Road right-of-way.
So if it was to be code, it'd have to set back 50 feet from the property line.
Correct. Which would put it right in the middle of parking display area for their cars. It would have to go back in this direction also.
I have another question, not really maybe apropos to what we're discussing here, but if you go back to the schedule, Tim's got 1,155 square feet approved total square footage. Can you explain that to me?
That is for Tim's Toyota, a separate business entity, so we treat these, even though they're all under Tim's, they really are separate businesses, so we treat them individually. That was a comprehensive sign plan that was approved back in 2007. Much of that signage is the wall signage.
Wall signage.
It's all wall, it's 90% of it's wall signage, and the big glass front on Tim's Toyota. Yes, sir.
Frank, on that photograph you had, where you're talking about property line,
Yes, sir.
was that other sign that's going to remain, is that on their property or in the right of way, on the corner?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% certain of that. I believe it's on their property because the properties come, this Tim's GMC in Buick has two parcels that encompass that parking lot where they display their cars. One comes along Commerce Drive, the other one's along Willow Creek. And where they merge, there's a little bump out of the property boundaries that meet at that corner. And I believe that freestanding or that monument sign is on the second parcel that's along Commerce.
Now, we did adjust the setback for the sign at the new Honda dealership, right?
Yes, sir. When you inventory, when you look at all these different signs in the neighborhood, so to speak, and then you look at the inventory, right down here to the south, you have Galpin Ford. They have 3 monument signs that are right up on the edge of their property line along Willow Creek Road. They're not set back. Honda's is right up on Willow Creek Road. All of them are. Except,
I remember the Honda was like the last one we
correct.
saw, and we seemed to allow them to go closer to the property line. I think it's the most important thing is how far are they from the street. I mean, I don't care where the property line is. That's theoretical. To me, you know, when you're looking at a sign, you should be looking at it as, is it a high-speed street?
It
Does
is.
the business need a bigger sign? And is the distance from the curb to the sign, what is that? I mean, that could be 50 feet right now.
You're right.
So, I mean, to me, that's the important thing. So, anyway, any other comments, George?
The only sign that's set back further in that area is the the RV dealership across the way, just because that's where it's always been. It's kind of set in the middle of the lot way back. You know, I think it's high and it's kind of rectangular, sticks up a little bit. The rest of them are right on the road.
George?
Well, if they would have wanted to have Tim's GMC and Tim's Buick separate, then they could have cluttered up the area with twice as many signage per our guidelines. Isn't that right? I mean, but they're combining them, and so that's actually reducing the number of signs that we would allow along there.
Well, by normally by code, but they can always request more signs through a comprehensive sign plan.
Yeah. But it's more efficient combining them all.
George is looking at it, that when you take all of the frontage from the corner of Commerce and you go north on Willow Creek Road, you could have had 10 or 12 businesses in there of different types rather than a car agency. And to put a couple of monument signs along that long right of way, and with the height requirements that we've got, I don't think it's unreasonable to have tremendous traffic generator and income generator and sales tax generator. You get quibbling over a foot of where the sign is going to be. So,
Well, like I said, to me, it's more important.
right.
I mean, that's a pretty big setback, even regardless of where the property line is. And it's a nice looking sign, the new one.
Mr. Chairman, I think one of the members that represented here has an actual measurement from the curve.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll get them up.
Okay, I'm
We're
sorry.
just going to finish our questions first.
Actually, I don't even have I'm not even sure I have a question. I already asked it.
Okay.
I think sometimes these things here are signs have been an issue, certainly for me in the past. But, you know, what you have here, despite that 50-foot setback for a 25-foot sign, is that,
And in this case, a 100-square-foot sign would require a 50-foot
yeah,
setback.
despite that, I think that the very nature of dealerships is that their buildings are way back. So the sign doesn't become too obtrusive in addition to the building that could be a lot closer. They could have their buildings not too far away from these signs. And I think from the looks from the community, I don't mind a large or a 6-foot taller monument sign closer to the street in this case, just because they've got this parking lots and they got their cars there. It actually, I guess I've grown to accept dealerships having taller signs by the street, and it's not like some of the other signs. I think all this points out sometimes that we have to look at our sign code and maybe make some modifications like that 50-foot deal here, but I don't see a huge issue with this one.
That's a really good point, Ken, about the signs on the buildings being farther back. I wasn't thinking of that. Okay, owner's rep here, would they like to?
One thing about it is I was going to say, with this group, you could make it
I
out.
like the sign. I like the sign.
The monument on that sign is lean enough that it doesn't take up a lot of your visual space. The sign, the
like the
square
sign.
footage is up high, much like the
I
100.
need your name and address.
Robbie Hinshaw, 1006 Commerce Drive, Prescott, Arizona.
Okay.
We're requesting this sign just because the visual of the existing monument sign is so low, and the way the light has been changed and the turn lane has been added over the years of Tim being there. You've lost the visual of seeing that. Like you were saying with the property lines, the monument sign that is currently there has been there, I believe, since about 1985. So it's just been the same thing. They've changed out the face on it, following what Buick GMC is now changed to. So we're just requesting something that's a little bit better visual aid. And then, you know, with talking about what you're talking about, the Willow Creek corridor there, or the easement of the property, at one point that was Tim's, but as the road has grown, it has slowly been set back. I've got him getting a measurement. If I'm going to guess, about 25, 30 feet, but
Okay.
he'll let me know shortly.
Okay. Any questions?
Well, yeah, I have one question maybe for Frank here, and that is that when you look at the recommended motion here, you're recommending or giving us the option of restricting it to 20-foot height, wherein I think we've already discussed that the 26-foot height was not obtrusive. Isn't that correct?
That's the way I feel.
Yeah, so the motion could be made without that.
Correct.
That addition.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a much better sign than the ones that's there, even though it's taller.
Yeah.
And, I don't have a problem with it. And the rest of the sign package is,
It's already there.
it's already there.
It's already there.
I mean, we're only going through that motion because of this sign, right?
Correct.
So,
One thing about comprehensive sign packages is that there has to be some sort of uniformity in design. And if you look at the existing monument sign on the corner compared to the new one that they're putting up, it's the same. The color scheme's the same, the black background, the red for GMC and the like. So they're being more uniform with design, more compliant with the comprehensive sign code than the existing marquee sign that's there now.
okay,
And it is 28 feet from the curb to the base.
okay.
Good guess.
Yeah, I would have guessed about 30 feet just by looking at it.
From the curb.
Yeah.
Terry?
It appears that the body of the sign itself must be about 16 feet above grade, or 15 feet at least. Is that correct?
I'm going to guess pretty close to that.
According to your
Yeah. Based on the
Dimensions
the
on it.
dimensions on there.
It's-
And that's
yeah.
like he said, that's the smallest one they have available other than our small, basically 4x4 that's on the ground right now.
One more comment. You want to correct the record that you didn't take over the Honda dealership?
Yes, we did not take over the Honda dealership.
You trying to move into your property?
You called it.
Okay. Anybody else in the audience want to say anything?
Oops.
No?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Okay. Move to recommend approval of the comprehensive sign plan for Tim's Buick and GMC with no conditions as presented.
I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Say aye. Aye. Okay, it's passed. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Frank,
Yes, sir.
do we have anything else? City updates?
Yes, sir. Mr. Geist, the director of our department, wanted me to bring up that on February 16th, the city council is going to be taking up the right-of-way signs in the right-of-way. On March 2nd, the UDC will be talking about the LDC amendments for signage and maybe some other items on the agenda that day. That's on March 2nd. And then in the future, in April, the commission and the city council will be talking about fee updates, fee increases for the budget discussions.
Okay. Commissioners have any more questions? All right, no? We're adjourned.
Thank you.
This has to be the shortest meeting.
Very, pretty sure.